Hi guys, welcome to the channel. In this video we shall discuss how can we separate a mixture of two miscible liquids. What do you mean by miscible liquids? The liquids which completely mix with each other, they are called miscible liquids. For example, in this activity the mixture of acetone and water is an example for miscible liquids. Just like water, acetone is a transparent colorless liquid which is an organic compound and which has got very less boiling point than water, and it is also going to catch fire. It means you can use it as a fuel also. And this acetone you can find in nail polish remover and also hand sanitizers, right? So if you have a mixture of acetone and water, how to separate that? The basic principle involved here is, in this entire apparatus that has been shown here, the basic principle is the difference in their boiling point. That is something you must understand. What is the boiling point of water? The boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. And what is the boiling point of acetone? It is less than that. It is a 56 degrees Celsius, right? So to separate both of them, let us arrange the apparatus as shown in the figure 2.9. Should take a round bottom flask, and with that round bottom distillation flask you have to fit a thermometer. The other end you should take one a condenser, and you should just connect it to a beaker. Okay, now here the acetone is more volatile than water. What do you mean by volatile? Volatile means the substance which evaporates quickly. So acetone is more volatile than water. When you arrange everything as shown in the apparatus and you supply heat from the burner, what happens? In the distillation flask we have a mixture of acetone and water, and acetone has a lower boiling point than water. So as soon as the thermometer reaches 56 degrees Celsius, the acetone are going to evaporate, and when it evaporates it has to be again converted into liquid form. So therefore you have to use a condenser as shown in this figure. So whatever the vapors will be there, they will be converted into again a liquid form by condensing them, okay, by using or cooling them, right? So when you cool it, you can see here you can collect acetone in a separate beaker. Okay, so in this way we can separate the mixture of acetone and water. The water is going to be left behind in the distillation flask, right? So now what is this method called? This method is known as distillation, right? This method is known as distillation. This method is used to separate the mixture which are miscible liquids. It means which have dissolved in one another, and the two miscible liquids should have a sufficient difference in their boiling point. There should be, because water is 100 degrees Celsius and acetone is 56 degrees Celsius, so there is a sufficient difference between their boiling points. And what about the mixtures, miscible liquids which have the difference in their boiling point less than 25 Kelvin? For that we are going to use a separate process, and that process is known as fractional distillation. That process is known as fractional distillation. Fractional distillation is used to separate only those miscible components which have the difference between boiling point less than 25 Kelvin. For example, if you take air is a mixture of so many gases, right? Oxygen, nitrogen, Or if you take these petroleum products, kerosene, diesel, petrol, right? So you can see that all of them have the difference in their boiling point less than 25 Kelvin. So if we want to separate petrol from diesel or kerosene, you can use this process called fractional distillation. What is the difference between distillation and fractional distillation? The difference is that in the apparatus shown in this figure, there we are going to use a fractionating column. That is the only difference. Everything else is same. Everything else setup is same. We have a condenser, we have a distillation flask, and we have a thermometer, we have everything pretty much the same, but only difference is we are going to use one fractionating column. What is this fractionating column? This fractionating column is packed with glass beads, right? So what is the use of these glass beads which are present in the fractionating column? Surface for the vapors to cool and condense repeatedly, right? So the vapors are going to be collected and they are going to be cooled and they have become a liquid. Okay, so this is what the fractionating column is used for. The difference between distillation and fractional distillation is used only for to separate those components whose difference in their boiling point is less than 25 Kelvin. For example, to separate a mixture of air or to separate a mixture of the different components in a petroleum. Okay, I hope you guys understood. Thank you guys.